True Blue Nation, Dodgers Report.
Stop whatever you're doing because the trade market is heating up and our team's name is right in the middle of aggressive negotiations. What's up, Dodgers fans? We've got a major update coming in. Just feel the atmosphere at Dodger Stadium. The sun is shining, the smell of hot dogs is in the air, but the silence coming from the dugout is deafening. And it's not the silence of focus, it's the silence of uncertainty. If you live and breathe this team every single day and you've already been worried about this situation, make sure to hit that like button right now. I'm going to tell you the truth. What's happening with our starting catcher is a mystery the front office is trying to keep under wraps, but the smell of smoke has already reached the stands. True Blue Nation deserves the truth, and we're opening that black box right now. I've completely run out of patience with Dave Roberts' talking points. He comes out and says he's concerned, but then immediately tries to downplay everything by claiming it's not a long-term issue. Give me a break. If you're concerned, then the problem is bigger than they're telling us. To me, this whole day-to-day label is the biggest lie teams tell fans to keep morale from collapsing. Will Smith isn't just another player, he's the heartbeat of this battery. Watching our manager struggle to provide any timeline for his return gives me a knot in my stomach. This feels like either a medical miscalculation or an injury that was seriously underestimated from the beginning. We all know how the front office operates. They keep everything hidden until they can't anymore. It's frustrating watching our all-star disappear while the official messaging continues to be nothing but smoke and mirrors. From a baseball standpoint, Will Smith's situation has reached a critical standstill. The Dodgers catcher was placed on the injured list following his last appearance on June 5th, 2026, due to persistent neck inflammation. Manager Dave Roberts confirmed that while Smith reports feeling somewhat better, he has not resumed any baseball-related activities. That means he's not hitting, he's not throwing, and he hasn't even participated in bullpen sessions. Before landing on the injured list, his performance had already declined significantly. Smith was hitting .249 with only 6 home runs and 23 RBIs on the season. His .720 OPS reflected an offensive downturn that began before the medical diagnosis was ever announced. Do you understand how dangerous this situation is? He hasn't even picked up a bat yet. That's a direct hit to our season. If he hasn't started baseball activities, expecting him back before the All-Star break is pure fantasy. I'm furious because it feels like nobody wants to admit that Will Smith may have been playing hurt for weeks, which would explain that brutal stretch at the plate. That's a management failure. Allowing a player to push through pain until he completely breaks down is amateur-level decision-making. Now we're relying on uncertainty. I want to hear from you. Should the front office already be looking for an immediate replacement, or do you still believe there's a path back for Smith? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I'm genuinely concerned. We can't just assume he'll come back and magically solve every problem. True Blue Nation knows better. When day-to-day turns into weeks, surgery often becomes the next conversation. With the starter sidelined, the responsibility now falls on young catcher Dalton Rushing. The prospect has actually produced better offensive numbers than Smith this season, posting a .239 average with 8 home runs and a .783 OPS. However, the organization is facing disciplinary concerns surrounding the young catcher. Recently, Rushing was involved in a public disagreement with Shohei Ohtani inside the dugout and has also been involved in confrontational moments with opposing players. Meanwhile, backup option Chucky Robinson has provided almost no offensive production, hitting just .133 in 5 games. The lack of depth behind the plate puts the front office under tremendous pressure. They must decide whether to continue trusting their internal options or pursue veteran reinforcements before the trade deadline. And that's the painful reality. True Blue Nation, we're stuck with a double-edged sword. On one side, we have a Will Smith situation that seems to drag on endlessly. On the other, we have a talented young player who looks ready to explode at any moment. And I'm not talking about home runs. I'm talking about his temperament. Rushing challenging Ohtani is a clear sign that the clubhouse hierarchy may not be as stable as it should be. But here's the real question. If Rushing keeps outproducing Smith offensively, will the organization really have the courage to take him out of the lineup? Will Smith may be watching his guaranteed role slowly slip away because of an injury that refuses to heal properly. This is becoming an identity crisis for the Dodgers. The team needs leadership, but right now we have a hospital ward on one side and an emotional battlefield on the other. As far as I'm concerned, Smith's entire season is now in question, and if the organization doesn't act quickly, the hole at catcher could swallow this team's championship hopes. The future of the Dodgers now depends on a medical answer that nobody seems willing to provide clearly. Is Will Smith still the unquestioned starter, or has the Dalton rushing era begun whether anyone planned for it or not? The pressure is reaching its breaking point, and one mistake from here could seriously damage the Dodgers' plan to dominate the league. If you don't want to miss any breaking news, insider reports, trade rumors, and behind-the-scenes updates, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, True Blue Nation. I'll see you in the next one.